true. There's no way that LeBron, Clarence, James is ever gonna match Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And this is the very simple reason why.
Now, let me go back to last week. You were going to tell me about trash talking with Jordan.
So we're playing in some exhibition games, and we're playing Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls. Now, of course, he's still Michael Jordan because Michael's 3 years older than I am, but he wasn't Michael Jordan with the music behind him like he is now. I'm having a good first quarter because obviously we're guarding one another, and he's going through the motions because veterans really aren't going hard. And Chuck Person is egging me on saying, tell him to take that. Yeah, tell him he can't check you. Tell him he's all that. And I'm looking at Chuck like, I really don't want to talk noise to Michael Jordan, but hey, maybe I'm trying to establish myself a little bit. So I go ahead and he eggs me on and I say a few things to him. Next thing I know, Michael looks over to Doug Collins, who was the head coach at the time, and says, leave me in. That's all he said. Leave me in. Well, next thing I know, we were up by 16 points going into the third quarter. I had like 12. Michael had 2. By the end of the game, I had 12 and he had 35. And I remember walking off the court and he looked at me and this is all he said. Don't ever talk to me. That's all he says. Like, don't ever talk to me again. And even though for the next 17 years, he and I were cordial and cool, he's right. I never did talk noise to him again.
That was the only guy that you wouldn't say anything to?
Have you ever heard grown-ass men with success, wealth, status willfully kneel down and humble themselves at the foot of another human, another man that they knew? It's not a man from 1,000 years ago. It's a man they knew, a man they ate lunch with. Who's going to do this for LeBron? Which player is going to do this for LeBron? Do you imagine Paul Pierce doing this? Do you imagine Kobe Bryant doing this? Do you imagine Steph Curry doing this? Do you imagine his contemporaries doing this? Where are the stories going to come from? In 15 years, will a generation of players volunteer this embarrassment? Will they volunteer this personal humiliation at the foot of LeBron? The simple argument is filled with proof and stats, but arguments are internalized and brandished in stories. And I will lay on this point until they tell my story. Legend is built on stories. And who from the heat of the crucible will tell his stories? I say, no one.